Addiction is a powerful force that keeps many people trapped in self-destructive cycles. Whether it's substance abuse, gambling, social media addiction, or unhealthy eating habits, these behaviors can take control over our lives, making it difficult to break free. Buddhism teaches that addiction is rooted in craving, the constant desire for pleasure and escape from discomfort. The Buddha's teachings offer mindfulness, awareness, and self-discipline as tools to overcome these cravings. We will explore how to break free from addiction and bad habits using Buddhist wisdom, practical mindfulness techniques, and modern psychology. Addiction is not just a personal struggle, it is a global issue affecting millions of people from all walks of life. Different cultures and societies have varying approaches to dealing with addiction, but the universal truth remains: breaking free requires awareness and intentional action. If you want to take back control over your life, keep watching until the end for powerful insights and step-by-step guidance. Understanding the root of addiction. Addiction doesn't happen overnight. It starts with a small action that becomes a repeated habit, eventually turning into an uncontrollable craving. In Buddhism, this is explained through the cycle of dependent origination, a process where craving leads to attachment, which results in suffering. Modern science also supports this idea, as addiction rewires the brain's reward system, releasing dopamine, a pleasure-inducing chemical. The more we indulge in bad habits, the more we reinforce neural pathways that make it harder to stop. To break free, we must first understand that addiction is not just about willpower, it is about rewiring the brain and training the mind to respond differently to cravings. Addiction is often linked to deep-seated emotional and psychological issues, such as trauma, stress, and depression. People turn to addictive behaviors as a way to escape reality or cope with difficult emotions. However, temporary relief soon turns into long-term suffering. The Buddha's teachings encourage us to face our pain with awareness, rather than numbing it with distractions. A crucial step toward healing is self-inquiry, asking yourself why you feel the need to indulge in addictive behaviors. When you recognize the root cause of your addiction, you can start addressing the problem at its source. Addiction takes many different forms depending on cultural and social influences. In some countries, alcoholism is a widespread issue, while in others, digital addiction is on the rise. Regardless of the type of addiction, the underlying mechanism remains the same: craving leads to suffering. By understanding addiction from both a personal and a broader societal perspective, we gain a deeper awareness of how to break free. The power of mindfulness in breaking habits. One of the most effective tools for overcoming addiction is mindfulness. The Buddha emphasized mindful awareness as a way to observe our cravings without reacting to them. When we practice mindfulness, we train the brain to detach from compulsive urges. Here's how: pause and observe the craving instead of acting on it immediately. Label the urge as a temporary sensation. Focus on the breath to bring awareness to the present moment. Neuroscientists have found that mindfulness strengthens the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, making it easier to resist addictive impulses. Incorporating mindfulness into daily life can help break addiction patterns. Simple practices such as mindful breathing, mindful eating, and body scanning create awareness of thoughts and actions, making it easier to detect and control cravings. For instance, instead of reaching for a cigarette or junk food, take a deep breath and acknowledge the craving. The more you practice this, the more power you have over your impulses. Scientific research has shown that meditation and mindfulness-based interventions significantly reduce relapse rates in individuals recovering from addiction. Mindfulness is being integrated into addiction recovery programs, from rehabilitation centers to corporate wellness initiatives. Countries like the United States, Canada, and Australia have adopted mindfulness-based therapy as a standard practice for addiction treatment. Studies suggest that people who incorporate meditation into their recovery process experience less anxiety, fewer withdrawal symptoms, and a greater sense of control over their behaviors. The Buddha's teachings on mindfulness, combined with modern psychology, offer an effective roadmap for overcoming bad habits. Overcoming self-sabotage and negative thinking. Addiction is often fueled by self-sabotaging thoughts like, "I'll never change," or "I'm too weak to stop." The Buddha taught that our thoughts shape our reality. If we constantly feed our minds with negative beliefs, we strengthen the addiction cycle. To overcome self-sabotage, practice right speech and right thought, two principles from the Noble Eightfold Path. Replace self-criticism with positive affirmations, "I am in control of my actions," or "I am stronger than my cravings." Keep a gratitude journal to focus on the progress you make rather than the setbacks. Changing your inner dialogue is a key step in breaking free from addiction. Negative self-talk is a global issue that affects millions of people struggling with addiction. In many cultures, addiction is stigmatized, making individuals feel ashamed of their struggles. This leads to further self-destructive behaviors, as people believe they are beyond help. Buddhist philosophy teaches that all beings have the potential for change and growth. Instead of being harsh on yourself, practice self-compassion. Studies show that people who practice self-compassion are more likely to succeed in long-term recovery because they treat themselves with kindness instead of judgment. Practical ways to overcome self-sabotage include journaling, therapy, and daily meditation. Writing down self-sabotaging thoughts and challenging them with positive counter-statements can rewire the brain. Many global addiction recovery programs now incorporate cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, a method that aligns with Buddhist teachings by encouraging individuals to replace harmful thought patterns with empowering ones. The combination of mindfulness, positive affirmations, and self-compassion can help break the cycle of addiction at its core. Replacing bad habits with healthy alternatives. Breaking addiction is not just about stopping a harmful behavior, it's about replacing it with something beneficial. The Buddha emphasized the middle path, which encourages balance rather than extreme restriction. Studies show that when individuals replace addictive habits with constructive activities, such as exercise, creative pursuits, or volunteer work, they experience lower relapse rates. Instead of using willpower alone, replace addictive cravings with a rewarding and fulfilling alternative. Creating a healthy routine is essential. Daily activities such as yoga, meditation, reading, and social connection can help fill the void left by addiction. Many addiction recovery centers implement structured routines that include therapy, exercise, and spiritual guidance, which align with Buddhist teachings on mindfulness and discipline. The key is to develop habits that nourish the mind and body while reducing dependency on unhealthy behaviors. Nutrition also plays a vital role. Certain foods, such as omega-3 rich fish, leafy greens, and whole grains, help regulate brain chemistry and reduce cravings. The Buddha advised mindful eating as a practice to cultivate self-control and avoid overindulgence. By replacing addictive behaviors with healthier choices, the process of recovery becomes more sustainable and rewarding. The role of a supportive community. Buddhism emphasizes the Sangha, community, as a fundamental part of spiritual growth. Addiction recovery is no different. Studies show that people who engage with support groups, mentors, or trusted friends have a higher success rate in overcoming addiction. Whether through Buddhist meditation groups, 12-step programs, or online recovery communities, surrounding yourself with people who encourage personal growth is crucial. Different cultures approach addiction recovery in unique ways. In some Asian countries, temple retreats and meditation centers serve as rehabilitation spaces, while in Western societies, peer support programs such as Alcoholics Anonymous are more common. The core principle remains the same: isolation feeds addiction, while connection nurtures healing. Being part of a community fosters accountability, motivation, and emotional support, all essential for breaking free from destructive habits. If you're struggling with addiction, seek out like-minded people who share the same goal of self-improvement. It may be a Buddhist discussion group, a therapy circle, or even an online forum. Building connections and having a reliable support system can make a profound difference in your journey to recovery. The importance of patience and forgiveness. One of the biggest challenges in overcoming addiction is dealing with relapses and setbacks. Many people feel frustrated when they fall back into old habits, leading to self-blame and guilt. However, the Buddha taught that forgiveness and patience are key to personal transformation. Rather than seeing relapse as failure, view it as part of the learning process. Scientific studies indicate that self-compassion leads to greater long-term success in addiction recovery. Instead of punishing yourself, acknowledge your setbacks, reflect on what triggered them, and continue moving forward. The Buddhist practice of metta, loving-kindness meditation, can be a powerful tool for cultivating self-acceptance and resilience. Different societies have various attitudes toward addiction relapse. Some cultures take a punitive approach, making individuals feel ashamed of their struggles, while others focus on restorative healing. Buddhist philosophy aligns with the latter, emphasizing progress over perfection. The key is to be patient with yourself, practice mindful self-reflection, and continue taking small steps toward freedom. Long-term strategies for lasting freedom. Overcoming addiction is not just about breaking free for a short period, it's about maintaining long-term sobriety and transforming your mindset. The Buddha's teachings emphasize the importance of daily discipline, mindfulness, and continuous self-improvement as lifelong practices. One powerful technique is conscious goal setting, creating clear, meaningful objectives that align with your higher purpose. Visualization and affirmations can also help reinforce your commitment to change. Studies show that individuals who visualize their success and repeat positive affirmations daily are more likely to stick to their recovery journey. Examples of affirmations include: I have the strength to overcome my cravings. Each day, I grow stronger and more mindful. I choose health, peace, and clarity over addiction. Another crucial aspect is avoiding triggers. Whether it's certain environments, stressful situations, or negative influences, being mindful of what leads to addictive behavior allows you to stay one step ahead. Globally, relapse prevention strategies include therapy, structured wellness routines, and spiritual development, which align perfectly with Buddhist teachings. Finally, keep educating yourself. Reading self-help books, listening to recovery podcasts, and attending mindfulness workshops keeps you engaged in your journey. Knowledge empowers you to stay mindful and resilient in the face of temptation. By consistently practicing these strategies, you set yourself up for lifelong freedom from addiction. Taking the first step towards freedom. Addiction is a challenge, but it is not an impossible battle. By integrating Buddha's teachings on mindfulness, self-awareness, and self-compassion, you can take back control over your life. Remember, the first step to change is awareness. The second step is action. Apply the techniques discussed today: mindfulness, replacing bad habits, surrounding yourself with a supportive community, and practicing self-kindness. If you found this helpful, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more life-changing Buddhist wisdom. Thank you for watching. May you find peace and freedom. By following these principles, anyone struggling with addiction, regardless of their cultural background, can find the strength to break free. Addiction is a global problem, but through the power of mindfulness, self-awareness, and community support, healing is possible. Start today, and take the first step toward a healthier, more mindful life.